Happy Friday, everyone. My sound still won't be great. I ordered a new cable for the other mic today, so hopefully that'll be with me by the next stream. But unfortunately not today. We're going to... Okay, so just to mention, today on stream I will be working on Caverns. Now, currently Caverns in freeplay, for example on this map, these are the caverns you open up. Currently they are set by the level editor, and you just get what you've got there. The idea here is that we're going to place caverns randomly. So if you have random caverns activated, you get each time you play you'll get a different underground layout, so it should be a bit more exciting. How's everyone doing? Hello, Antkeeper447. Good to have you with us. Right, Medium Burnick, good to have you back with us. Hello, ran out of name IDs just cuz. Good to have you with us. Okay, so I'm going to be basing this off the one I did for Holdout for Extremis, which is here. So this is the one in Extremis where I'm not entirely sure how it works. I can't quite remember, but as far as I'm aware, love the new AI. I've played 40 plus hours with them. Oh, fantastic! I'm glad, Plasma Gamer, you're enjoying it. It's not the cleverest AI in the world, and hopefully we'll be able to improve on it as time goes on. But with the ability to pick your level of cheating that it does, I think it gives a challenge for everyone. Ah, stream doing 1 versus 3. Yeah, you like your challenges then. There's also a few bugs with it, and I know I've yeah, I agree. It does need to go for closer food. Its algorithm to look at food's quite simple at the minute. I think it needs expanding really. It does look at the distance the food is, but also the food quantity and the number of gatherers it's got. But the algorithm's not perfect, so it will often go for a further away food that has a lot of food, because it thinks it's got enough gatherers to gather it, even though there's some food really close by, and often there's a lot of food close by. You'll notice a lot of the times it goes for the fish, even if it's off the opposite side of the map, because there's loads of food in the fish. Something else I've noticed that it does is it will get into a fight with enemies and hang around the enemy spawners, because that's where enemies are spawning, and it will just hang around there for ages because there's a constant trickle of enemies, which isn't what we want. Okay, so if I compile this, it should have errors now. Don't know how many errors. Okay, a lot of them's just warnings, but yeah, loads of errors. The AI colonies don't like attacking each other. Oh, if they're not allied, even if they're not allied. Yes. Okay. So, tell you what this will be. This will be because your colony is the weakest, like numbers wise, because they start off with pre-built colonies to some extent. Your colony is often the weakest, and they actually, when they're deciding who to attack, they have a higher chance to attack weaker players. So the weaker you are compared to the other colonies, the higher the chance they'll attack you. So maybe that does need looking at. Okay, so there's loads. Okay, it's because these are all the variables that have been brought in. Okay. So total cavern food. I will promote this to a variable. We got a variable called total cavern food. I'm going to put these into a category called cavern, just to keep them all together. Okay, so total cavern food will be set at the beginning here. Okay, so this is how much food we want to be in the caverns in free play altogether. Now, if I have a look at the dunes, I mean, there is no set answer for this in. Oh, these are grouped. I forgot I grouped them. So if I select one, it selects them all. 14. I was trying to estimate how many there are. $28. It's going to be really hard to estimate how many there are. Okay, so random cavern resources will be a value between 0 and 1. Need to multiply it by an integer. Okay, so so when you turn cavern food onto its maximum, how much food should there be? So this should be quite a lot of food underground. How about 3,000? I think 3,000 is quite enough for any underground, even on high amount. Okay, I'm coming back to chat for a second because it's decided it's going to try and autosave, so I've got a minute. This morning I did have a colony of wood ants kill the queen of a Formica fusca, then not collect the food. Yes, they're not yet programmed to gather the food from the nest. It's one of the there's loads of things we can do to improve the AI, but I should be writing these down anyway because we've already come up with a few good suggestions today. Oh, I think my pen ran out. Oh no, it's still going. Okay. Okay, so after killing a colony, harvest its resources. I said 3,000, didn't I? Truncate's fine. What else did we say? What did I say the AI did? So AI gather nearest food, higher priority. Maybe I should reduce the weight of the colony they're attacking being the weakest. Actually, what you could do is you could make it so the easier the AI is set to, the less likely they are to attack the weakest player. So easier AI is less likely to attack weakest player. Yeah, at the moment I'm working on random caverns, so it'll randomize your underground if you have the option turned on. I also have a new free play menu that I've been working on over the past couple of weeks. The menu's taken ages getting everything to interact properly, and I still think it's going to have loads of bugs. But I'll get it out to the beta as soon as I can. Probably early next week, with this random cavern thing as well. What else do we say? Yeah, so we said the closer food already. I figured out ways to just give enemies workers. The AI colonies don't like attacking each other. That's what we're working on. Yep, freeplay improvements. How come the colony managed to get to the surface before me? Yeah, they start with a bit of a pre-built nest. I mean, the size of the pre-built nest is determined by how much you've got their cheats turned up, but by default I think it's like 40% of their colonies built. Like 40% of their colony plan is built. I'm not sure. Harvest. I think I accidentally hosted you. Oh, what does hosting do? Hosting just means anyone looking at your channel will come to will come to view mine instead whilst you're hosting. At least you want the AI colonies to collect nearby food, but food that still has a lot, not like 30 food. Yeah, so I did build it like that, but the consequence of the way I built it was that if they have lots of ants and there is a huge resource pile, it doesn't matter how far away it is, they'll go for it. So I do need to really think about the algorithm for deciding which food they're going for. Anyway, I've wrote those suggestions down anyway. We'll get on with them. Get on with this. So the resources is maximum 3,000 underground. Right, cavern danger. Let's see if that's taken into account in here. Chosen cavern difficulty. I guess that'll come from this. Okay. I'm trying to remind myself what I did with these random caverns before. Okay, so so the chosen cavern difficulty looks like it's either stage difficulty of 1, 2, or 3 here. Okay, so a lower difficulty cavern will be designed to be the ones right next to the player. A higher difficulty cavern will be further in, and okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to okay. So the creatures in the cavern will be determined by the cavern danger. Which is going to affect some of these. Okay, so alright. The way this worked in the level was there were markers placed around your underground, but I don't think we need to do that here. Instead, what I think we'll do is we will get random tiles near the queen and work from there. I'll come back to chat in a moment. I'm just going to take a look at this. Okay, so first of all, let's try and get a random tile. Okay, so we've got the tile grid, which is the players underground. So we've got the players underground. This is only going to happen to players colonies. The computer colonies won't have randomized undergrounds. Mostly because they're dealing with pre-built bases. What am I thinking? Right, so I can look up a tile via its ID, however, that's not going to help. There's a couple of ways I can do this. So I can either take the queen, then take a random location within an area near the queen, and see if there's a tile there. And if it finds a tile, it will go, right, this is a tile. Is this close to the queen? If so, we'll make an easy cavern. If it's far away from the queen, we'll make a harder cavern. However, there'll be a lot of failures there. So, particularly on the underground in the embankment, the queen's in the corner, so 3/4 of attempts there will probably turn up nil. So it would have to be looking in a very wide area, and and they probably have to fail a lot of times. Now that's not so bad. It's the start of the game. It will add some lag to the start of the game as it does these collision tests. But we're probably talking about maximum 100 or so collision tests, so it's not actually that much considering there's not much else going on at the time. So that's one way we could do it. The alternative is to look at the tile grid, find out which tile the queen is on, and then look at tiles relative to that tile. So say we find the queen's in the top right tile, we don't want to look any much further right or up, so we look at other tiles. It's a more specific way of doing it, but I also think it will take longer, and I don't know if there's much point. I'm going to try the random way to start with, just to see where we get with that. So get queen, not queen start point. Get colony queen is valid. So if the colony queen's valid, there's definitely a random function to do with. It might not be boxes. It might be cubes. God, where did I do this? I did something very similar to this a while ago. Okay, coming back to chat. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Coming further back. Yeah, the AI don't excavate for food underground. They ignore it entirely. You want the AI to collect nearby food, but still a lot. Food that still has a lot. Less soldiers should attack weaker enemies, and more soldiers should attack stronger. Or more number of enemies. The way the attack system works is if it detects combat or enemies near in an area, it will move its marker to that location. It tends to the information it has is how much damage has been done recently. It's not actually to do with who's there. It's to do with what fighting's gone on. So you'll notice they'll react to fighting by bringing more, or to relocate their marker to where enemies are nearby. But they don't actually look at how many enemies are there. I think it's just how much damage was done in the area recently. Soldiers should. Question: with the AI digging stuff Liam showed in 2018. Okay, so the AI stuff that was shown by Liam in 2018 was originally planned for. He was working on the AI as we were building up to leaf cutters. However, during the process, he kind of got down a rabbit hole with the AI, and ended up. He basically ended up putting down that AI completely because it was getting too complicated, and he was only just kind of scratching the surface with it. He managed to make it come up with building plans underground and all that sort of stuff. That stuff's still there in the game, but it was never. It wasn't close to being completed. And as we got closer to leaf cutters and not wanting to push leaf cutters back even more, we made the decision. Well, Liam made the decision to make a much simpler AI that just follows a sequence, and that's what's being used in freeplay now. So the marker placement is kind of roughly from level 3.1, but with a lot of changes, and the building is just following a set sequence. So we do intend to go back to that at some point. That said, I'm assuming we're not going to go back to it before Fire Ants releases, because it's been quite a while since the Leafcutter update now, and we don't really want to be pushing back Fire Ant updates in order to get a better AI in freeplay. The point of the AI that was implemented in freeplay now, or is implemented in the beta, it's been done so because it was simple-ish to do. It took me maybe a month to get it off the ground, so it didn't detract too much from the central focus, which is getting the campaign finished. So I wouldn't expect the cleverer version of the AI that Liam was working on. I wouldn't expect that anytime soon, but it's still there, and at some point we will definitely be bringing at least some of what Liam was working on into it. Anyway, moving on down the chat. I'm curious to see what non-playable ants we will encounter in the fire ant levels. Well, yeah, you'll have to wait and see. We'll eventually reveal them, but we like revealing the creatures slowly to slowly build up the hype. I love to use the army ants, the trapjaws and slave makers in the campaign as well. I meant freeplay. Oh, yeah, the counterpart colony. Some people have also edited like save files to allow them into their Formicarium colonies. Yeah, that was a feature that literally everyone's waiting for. I tried doing attack waves with it. Attack waves, I have only beaten 7. I want to spawn more army ants. I had a lot like 5,000 food. However, the more the difficulty scales, harder things spawn. Yeah, I'm debating with the waves maybe making them ramp up slower. But I don't know. I think the waves are affected by the difficulty you set as well. So there's the game difficulty, and that will change the size of the waves and that sort of thing. I always have a problem with refuse on leaf cutters. Yeah, refuse management's a bit tricky to get your head around. Record of using 1,600 ants on the map. God, that's a lot. Used in alpha level. Oh, surrounded. Surrounded's different because the surrounded map doesn't have an overground. So with surrounded, there's less, like the surface isn't there, so there's a lot less things being processed. So you will manage to get more ants out of surrounded. Never reach real life colony size. Well, no, you will never. This game's never going to reach a. Certainly not for things like leaf cutters. They can be hundreds of thousands strong. There's no chance of us getting there. We'll keep working on improvements though. We're not going to stop optimizing the code. We'll keep going forward. 60 FPS at 800 ants. That's not too bad. Wait, did you download the graphics? The bottlenecks with it actually tend to be CPU bottlenecks, because I don't think the graphics bottlenecks kick in until a bit later if you've got a modern graphics card, but CPU bottlenecks kick in earlier in the game. So like the AI running on each ant, there's still a lot of savings we can make in it, and we will be optimizing more and more as we go. Quantum computer. Jumping through this. Also, do not forget to stay hydrated, guys. To go into freeplay and see how many ants the computer can handle. Speaking of that, how about you choose how many plants spawn? If you want to see how many ants your computer can handle, just turn creative mode on in freeplay. Creative mode makes building things free, so you can just do that and then just spam the build. Dead simple. Okay, so back to where I was. I was trying to get a random point in a box, and I'm pretty sure there's a function for it. There it is. Random point in bounding box. There we go. Okay, so origin is the queen. Don't need this. The box extents. Now, this is going to vary depending on the level, I assume. But the thing is, we need to at least cover the entire underground. You know, the queen's not the most sensible point. The most we've got to cover the whole underground. So what we'll do is we'll get the middle of the tile grid. How do we get the middle of the tile grid, you ask? Good question. identifier. Get tile by location, get tile coordinates by location. Right, hang on, 1 second. Let's actually have a look at the class. UG tile grid, H file. Get tile by direction, get surrounding tiles. Load of the navigation functions here as well. I can't see anything particularly useful. Look up tile via indices. Can I get that tiles X, tiles Y value? Yep. The lookup tile via indices are not available in blueprints. I can only look up tile via identifier. Oh, one sec. Get actor bounds. There we go. Right, let's see what that comes out with. That looks very promising. Random point. Ooh, hang on. If I break the link there, that should be fine. Okay, there we go. No broken code. Okay, so if I run this, we should find that it tells me the extent of my underground. Please, please, please don't be 0. Damn it.
This nest may be small, but given a chance, it will grow to become a sprawling underground city.
It's not 0, but it's 32. Which is not what I was hoping for. Right. What's this? Yeah, looks like it doesn't deal with children, and is as intended. Okay, back to the drawing board. I'm assuming I can't get access to the tile list. I might be able to just do a quick calculation there. It's a centered one as well. See, if I draw this, uh, 10. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of playing around with functions trying to get this right. I've got a thought of what might work if I can get this right. Though my guess is that this will draw a box in the top left that's 32 by 32 by 32.
This nest may be small, but given a chance, it will grow to become a sprawling underground city.
There it is. Okay, so hear me out. Tiles are 200 from the center of one to the center of the next one, which means the top of the box should be tiles X multiplied by 200 tiles Y multiplied by 200 X, Y, Z. Right, let's see what that does. See if that gets us in the ballpark. You trying to break my game by creating hundreds of ants. Do.
Many challenges lie ahead for this new society, but if it meets them, it could rise to become a true contender for this patch of the undergrowth.
Hey, that looks exactly twice as big as I need it. Okay, so I actually think it's 100 across because it's a hexagon. The way they slot together would put them closer, potentially. Also, the origin isn't right. It needs to be in the center of the... So, origin needs to be shifted by exactly half of these. Oh, this is fun. No, that's wrong. It's shifted, not... plus the original origin. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. wonder how much the 3080 could. How many ants the 3080 could handle. God, the benchmarks for the 3080 look so good.
This society is in its infancy. It must grow quickly if it is to survive.
Hey, I've created a wrong box. It's not a million miles away. But it isn't right. It's definitely not right. Okay, so for example, 1650 yeah, the way hex tiles work is going to complicate this. Okay, so this claims to be 40 by 40. How many tiles do we actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, so by 40 it doesn't mean 40 in the traditional sense. It means 40 including the wiggly up and down. So X then moves from 0 to 150. So X moves by 150 per tile. Y moves... God, look at that weird number. By 173.2. Okay, we're getting there. I love hexes, don't you? Don't you love hexes? Upsettingly, I think that's actually just going to make it worse. Because I've increased that number there on both accounts. And it didn't look too small last time. But maybe it'll be more centered.
The queen has raised her first brood. These loyal subjects will lay the foundation of what could one day be a great subterranean empire.
This isn't going well. See you, Plasma Gamer 2. See you, Random Nautilus. Thanks for stopping by. 173.2. Because that starts at 0, it should be very simple to look at where the last one ends. I was trying to think why that could. Let me just check whether there's a simple way to get this. It might be that one's already been built in. To do with something else. The freeplay menu is never done. How are you doing with the freeplay menu? I believe I'm finished with this round. Yes, the it's been passed on to Matt for a visual, and he's working on that today. So hopefully it won't be too long, and we can get that out to you early next week. However, this work on the random tile grids is not going so well, and I'm finding the random I'm randomizing caverns is not moving. It's not moving particularly fast. I'm sure it will do once I've got over these hurdles, but the current hurdle is trying to. See, for example, this is doing 40 times 150, which is 6,000. So X there is 0. And the final tiles X is 150 off 3,000, off 6,000. So really, that should be working. Is it the same with this? 173.2 times 40 is 6928. The actual position of the final tile is wondering whether it's... Six, 7, 5, 4. Which is bang on. That's exactly what I'd expect. Again with the -1. So why on earth is that not working? Let me just double check. So we're drawing a box. To be fair, to simplify this, we can just draw a box straight there. Oh, hang on, what have I done? Okay, so the centre's the value divided by 2, that's right. And the non-center, so the extent, is just the value. Yeah, that should be right. Oh, hello, Half Node. Good to have you back with us. Didn't see you come in then.
In this small corner of the world, the creatures
What have I
continue
done?
their day-to-day lives, unaware that a new power is about
Where's
to
he gone?
rise in the Undergrowth.
What have I broke? Get rid of that. And Matt's just getting back to me. I don't know why that's not showing up. Tiles x -1, tiles y -1. Let's just see what numbers are coming out, because I should just be able to have a nosy at the numbers with a breakpoint. That's exactly what I expected. Where is it?
This nest may be small, but given a chance, it will grow to become a sprawling underground city.
Right, I think Matt's just explained it to me. Yeah, there's a function. shift these out of the way. Oh, sorry, I need to run a execution thing through that. Where is it? Have I made it thin or something?
In the world, the creatures continue their day-to-day lives, unaware that a new power is about to rise in the undergrowth.
What did I do with it? I'll just check that it's actually being drawn. Because it doesn't seem to be showing up at all.
The Queen has raised her first brood. These loyal subjects will lay the foundation of what could one day be a great subterranean empire.
Okay, so I have no proof anymore that this is even being drawn. I love hearing the start of freeplay.
In this small corner of the world, the creatures continue their day-to-day lives, unaware that a new power is about to rise in the undergrowth.
This is 000, but the debug sphere is just not showing. I think I've lost my debug information for some reason. Right, let's put this back. Plug this back in. I'm gonna restart the engine. Whilst I'm doing that, we can have a chat. Also talk about fire ant bridges. I reckon something's been flagged off for some reason. Some debug thing's been flagged off. I don't know why. Okay, 1 second. I'll be back there in a moment. Okay, so let's have a quick chat about what's been happening this past week, and I'll also come back to chat as well. Okay, so work on the fire ant bridges has finally, to some extent, completed. Now, I would say to some extent, it's because we still expect bugs. The screenshot Saturdays this week should show some interesting bits and bobs going on with the with the fire ant bridges, some things that you perhaps weren't aware they were capable of. And it'll also go some way to explaining why they've taken so long, because of the amount of possibilities with the bridges we've had to take into account. And in fact, when the engine reboots, we'll have a look at the bridges test level that Liam was working on, and we can have a bit of a play around with that. So Liam's been working on that. I've been working on the free play menu. Matt has been doing a combination of fire ant bridges and the Epic Store integration, because we're going up on the Epic Store at some point. I'm not sure when, but we will be for sale on that store at some point. So there actually hasn't been a great variety of things going on. It's actually been fairly focused. But the good news is that Liam's now got to the point where the fire ant bridges that he's happy with them, and is moving on to other things now. In fact, what he's doing at the minute is he's working on improvements to the call to arms system. I think he's trying to eliminate, because this if you remove a marker, or if you move your marker back to your queen, you get a different reaction. I think one of them makes the ants go home instantly, and the other one doesn't. So he's working on basically having marker things you do with your marker being slightly more standardized. So there should be marker improvements coming, including he's also including them in the calculation for the bridges now. In fact, he's taken into account on the trail calculation the ants that it will take to build the bridge, so they're not taken into account with the trail. Moving the marker underground moves the ants underground immediately. Removing the marker makes the ants go grave marker before returning. Yeah, so that's the current thing that's currently how it works. However, Liam's changing that. I think he's simplifying some of the trail mechanics internally, so it's easier to understand what's going on, and then he's playing about with it in order to have more consistent behavior. So basically, you don't get penalized for doing things one way rather than another. So there's lots of work going on with the markers there. With the free play menu I've been setting up, the idea behind this new free play menu is that it should immediately be easier to understand for someone who hasn't played free play before. It should be much easier for them to just get into a game and roughly understand how difficult that game's going to be and what the victory condition is, etc. So there's just a drop down you pick from. All the old options are still there. They're just hidden in tabs. And then on the initial screen, you've got a drop down which is your game mode, so you can choose Conquest, Domination, Besieged, and selecting that game mode automatically configures the difficulty settings of everything else. And then you can select the difficulty you want: easy, normal, hard, insane. And there's a couple of other options on that basic setup. I think Fog of War and Randomized Caverns tick boxes are there. And the enemy colony setups are there. But other than that, basically most players I expect to just use the basic setup until you want to really delve into various options. So the idea is that a new player coming to free play can get into a free play game easily and understandably, and they're not faffing around trying to figure out options. It also brings the enemy colonies importance to the front, so they're right in front of you when you start, and the victory condition as well is automatically set up when you select the thing from the drop down. What was difficult with it was making it so those options, when you change them, it changed all the other options. And then when you change the other options, you've got to decide what it needs to change when you come back, whether you need to change the game mode to custom or whether you can leave it in its current game mode, because what they've changed is actually a basic option. It was just basically a mess of different things interacting. I think I've got through it, but I do expect bugs. Let me have a look at Liam's test level if I can. Hang on. Water walking test is what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is the test map that you'll have seen on the Screenshot Saturdays that's been going out. These are fire ant tiles. They haven't got their decoration yet. Now, I believe the bridge won't build unless there's water, which is right. Oh, sorry, I haven't moved any fire ants into the... Okay, if I put them... Oh, hasn't worked yet. Okay, I believe if I press... Ah, it's because that's not a proper bridge head, that's probably not set up. Okay, if I press that, I believe it raises the water level. No. Oh, yes, okay. So, because the water level there has been raised, I can place the marker there now. Okay, so it's not perfect yet. And then if I don't want to get too many ants over there. Problem is, I've got a couple of hundred ants here now. So they shouldn't start deconstructing the bridge until there's no ants over there. And when the last ant leaves, then the bridge starts to deconstruct. Okay. Kill the tiger beetle. What's the dot for? What dot? There's a dot. Oh. What, the tiger beetle? I don't know, that must have been some testing Liam's doing. Actually, it looks like it's slightly in the floor. Maybe Liam put it in the floor for some reason. So, if I press this again, it will raise the water level again. There's another bridgehead. Okay, so Raise the water level again. Looks like they all escaped. So if I put a marker there. Okay, so if I put a marker down over here, it will connect between the two. It will create a double bridge. Okay, so that killed everything. Okay, so water levels back down to standard. The fire ant bridge thing. Where the fire ant bridge thing was, it had a dot. Did it? I've killed the tiger beetle. So here's another thing. So the ants are now over on this island. If I raise it again now, right? So it's killed those, killed a few of those. The rest of the ants then should try and form the bridge. There we go. Soft texture. Oh, yeah. Okay, so don't worry about the texturing at the minute. None of these levels were set up to. None of these levels are set up properly. They're just test levels, so they've just been done as basically as possible. So yeah, that's how the bridge mechanic works. And a lot of the work's been trying to work out what would happen in specific situations. Getting it right with the water lowering and rising, so you can perhaps get an idea of what's going to be happening in some of the levels. Well, yeah. I believe the way he's done it as well, you can actually just build. If there was 4 or 5 more islands, it would just keep going if there was a route between them. Fire ants even walking. Oh, you mean animating whilst they're going across it? I think they should be. I get rid of that marker. I think they should be, because it should be the same as leafcutter climbing, because it uses the same system, just heavily adapted. But I guess there's a chance that they're not. Maybe there's a bug. That looks like a bug. Yeah, that's a bug. Yeah, there's a bug here. They seem to think this bridge still exists. So yeah. Like I say, it's functional but not necessarily bug free at the moment. I can have a look at their AI, see if their AI is up to anything. Actually, it looks like he's made changes to this recently. Well, I've got this on stream anyway, so I can point him to the stream later. Oh look, they're all connected. How exciting. The exclamation mark on the file there meant that I haven't actually got the latest version of the file, so they're just idling. They're just confused. Right. Well, I've asked Liam if he wanted me to check anything. He's not responded. He's probably not there, so I'm not going to spend the rest of the day on this screen. Oh, hang on. No, he is right. He's... Hang on. So... Liam's apparently having to watch the advert for the stream. Excellent. Drop the water. Has that not been tested? It should have been. I believe Liam's built something in for if the water level drops. Everyone loves live testing. I don't know if I can drop the water level. I don't know whether he's got this. He's got the command set up to raise the water level, and then when it gets to the top, it lowers itself back to the. Oh yeah. Oh no. Let's have a look at one of those bits. The struggling ants. Let's see it. Okay. So what do you want to see, Liam? Do you want to see their behaviour tree, or... Yeah, so they appear to be in their follow trail subtree. So that's this guy. Where's the marker? The marker has been deleted. I deleted the marker which started this. It was on the island. It's not anymore. It's been deleted. Oh, but there is a grey marker still. So they're stuck with a grey marker, but they've got no real marker. I deleted it. Please drop the water. I don't know if I can. One more check. Go on then, Liam. Creature make decision.cpp. Okay. What do you want me to check in there? Okay, one sec. I'll bring you in. Just check it's actually got the correct window. Yeah, it does. Okay. Okay, our wonderful code. Breakpoint at do I want to cross bridge? So here. Is that the only? Oh, there's two. Which do I want to cross bridge? Do you want me to put a breakpoint on? Oh no, there's only. Yeah, there's two. Yeah, but that will catch all ants that are inside that if statement. The one in follow trail. Follow trail. So here we are. We have a. Do you want to actually go into do I want to cross bridge? But breakpoint inside the if statement. No. Okay, so breakpoint inside possible bridge. Okay. Okay, so there we are. We've hit a breakpoint inside possible bridge. Possible bridgehead. I mean, it's hard to know if this is a correct ant. Actually, it should be, because the only ants doing anything will be those and the ones underground. So the only ones with a possible bridgehead. Anyone that does that should then go on to make a bridge. Right, so there's ants trying to make a bridge at the minute. Who's hit this? This creature. Fire ant pervasive 554. It's my favourite one. Yeah, there's loads of them. Fire ant pervasive 558. Trying to look for fire ant pervasive 554 in that list is not going to happen because you can't. Oh no, maybe actually. Was it 554? Fire ant pervasive. Yep, there we are. There he is. Well, there she is, shall I say? Find Miss 554. Yeah, this is C554. She's determined that she wants to make a bridge. Just here. This is a juicy 554. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. I always do this. Half of my stream, people can't see what's going on because I forget to turn off the yeah. I forget to turn on or off the There she is, running around like a crazy ant. Okay. The issue here is that the breakpoint showed that she switched her behaviour to make bridge. Where's make bridge in the? Is there a bridge behaviour tree? A subtree. Idle, lost. I'm assuming that's to do with the bridge building. Ah, run bridge, mate. Yeah, she's in here. Make bridge underscore subtree. Oh, it's on this screen. Sorry, going mad. Yeah, she's switching between the two. Oh, it's 557. Though I don't think that's relevant. I think 557's probably doing the same thing as well. Oh, 557. How odd. This is interesting. Looks like the test with water walking is a success. Very good, Huff. Something is resetting its behavior tree. So I don't know if it's repeatable. It might be real easy to repeat if you put a marker down on the second bridge and then just delete the marker. It might be that you've never deleted you never deleted it on two bridges. You just moved it. I don't know. Well, I don't want to stop the test and whilst there's still. Yeah, you give it a go. God, they get quite far out. Oh, so do they actually? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Do they actually start making the bridge? Is that why they keep walking out? They're starting to make the bridge and then are being reset, so they're forced back to land. So you notice they're going to different distances. Maybe they're making the bridge, and then just immediately unmaking it. I don't know. I have no idea here. Okay, I'll give it a go. You carry on. Triple press the right bracket. That will make it go down. I think they are wondering. Okay, triple pressing the right bracket. Oh, hang on. I'd have to be in. Okay, so what happened there was the ones that could land, did land, they dropped onto the ground. The ones that fell into the water or couldn't land died. Now, visually, we need to make that look a bit better. Yeah, so the death they need to drop to the ground and die, really. It wasn't as exciting as you think, yeah. Let's see if we can replicate that bug. I like the mini-map when the bridges are being built. It's like a flow that's getting bottlenecked, but slowly working its way there. Okay, so, and I just deleted the marker. Let's see what that does. It's gonna work fine now, isn't it? Maybe it's the ants from this bridge that mess up. Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. The second bridge worth of ants. There we are, Liam. We've discovered something here, but it's a very easy bug to replicate, thankfully. Half of the battle with bugs is being able to replicate them. If you can't replicate a bug, it's very hard to work out what's causing it. I don't know. We could give it a go. Right, so when the water level drops, so the ants that can land. The ants that can't die. Currently they die in mid-air, which... Oh, this is really bad. 009. So what is it you wanted to check? You wanted to check... What happens if building a bridge is interrupted by the water moving back down? Okay, let's give that a go, shall we? So, whilst the bridge is built... Oh, dear, I think I might have raised the water level too high. Okay, so whilst it's building, we're going to drop the water level. Same thing. I think that handled it quite well. There's a bunch of slow down there that happens. How do we get the ants stuck? Do we have to go like over here to get them stuck? So really what I want is the water level to go down, so it drops. Right, these are panicking. Yeah, ants stuck in an area like this panic and die, so panic exclamation mark appears above them, and then they get killed. So if they're in an area where there's no way back, they will panic and die. There isn't a bridgehead here. I believe the way these bridges work I can't remember how you Matt explained to me how to create them at some point, but I forgot. I'm assuming I don't edit the spline. Maybe you do. Make 2 bridge heads, drag them. Yeah. Do I just edit this spline? Then you just have to use the twinned bridge head option to connect them. Yeah, but if I edit the spline, does that make it go wiggly? Can I, for example, make a mad bridge? So how do I do that? I can't remember how to edit splines. There's a way of adding points to them, isn't there? I'll right click it. Maybe right click it in here. Aha! No, I'm not planning on making any permanent changes. Spline points. It's not letting me change any of these. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I've added 2 spline. Oh, hey. There we go. This is getting exciting. Do I need to make the bridge heads? Is there a button to register the new tiles? Or does it just work? Ah, looks like it just works. Excellent. Right, let's see this mad bridge be made. Ah, I need to raise the water level. There we go. You really should rebuild paths after doing this. There's no need for this in the game. Look, I have no idea what this is going to do. I'm just experimenting. Oh look, there's water in there. Isn't that exciting? Should have done it with this bridge. Hey. I think I broke it. Okay, so it did work. I see what's happened though, because it's clearly going consecutive tiles. Having the spline go through the same tiles twice clearly doesn't. It doesn't like that. And the ants are just moving directly between the bridge anyway. They're ignoring the bridge. If I rebuild paths, they might follow the bridge. Okay. How come these are floating off? Okay, so we've got limits. Game, so you have chosen death. Oh, I don't think these ants are going to have a good time when they get out. Are they even coming out? No, they can't path. They can't path, so it's not letting them out. There you go, come out, ants. There you go. I think that's enough prattling around on this map for now. Right, I think I'm going to leave the stream there. I know we basically spent the first half of the stream failing to do something. I pretty much got there in the end with what I wanted to start with, the first thing I wanted to start with, and then we spent the second half of the stream mucking around with the fire and bridges. Oh look, the ants are forming their own bridge this side. They formed an escape bridge. Yes, I'm sorry. The stream is coming to a close. We're hitting the 2 hour. We're very close to the 2 hour mark now, which is my usual stream end time. So there, see there, they formed the bridge from this side and deformed it from the other way. Switch from nursery group to when they're on the island. I think these are the kind of things that Liam's been racking his brain over. So yeah, let's give it a go. So got ants on the island. We switch them into the other group. I believe they should just return back and the bridge deform. Look at the little fire ant queen. Isn't she cute? Oh no, the bridge has remained. Found another one, Liam. Maybe it's because the marker's still there. So the marker's there, but there's no ants in the marker group. So if I destroy that marker, I'm assuming they'll deconstruct the bridge. See, I don't know whether that's the behaviour people would expect. Basically, if there's still ants in that group, on the island, in fact, if there are still ants in that group, the bridge should probably remain, because even if you remove the fire ants from the group, but there's ants still on the group meant to be on the island, the bridge should probably remain. So the only situation is, if you move all ants out of that group, the bridge should definitely deconstruct. It's just so many combinations. What would happen in the nursery chain split when the ant crosses? I think that's what all these little groups are for. I think Liam's got like, if I put a single ant to go over, does it start to try and form the bridge even when there's one ant? Okay, yeah, so there. It started to form the bridge. Now we make the rest of the bridge out of these ants. So there's one ant that isn't in the group on the bridge. So what do we want to do to try and break this? Can workers make bridges? The way fire ants work? Workers? I don't know, actually. I can't remember what we decided on that front. Delete that one ant's nursery tile. Okay, where is it? Okay, this is a... I don't know if I can delete it, actually. I don't think there's any workers on this map. Oh, there is. There is. Okay, what the hell happens now? It's been deleted. Do we have an orphaned ant? I can't select it individually. We might have an orphaned ant there. So if I remove this marker now, I mean, what I would hope would happen is as soon as that ant comes off the bridge, it dies. I think that would be an acceptable outcome. Oh look, it's broke. Oh, it's the same issue as we had before with the deleting the marker. We might have a zombie ant. We might have an orphaned ant. Well, I can only see the 3 workers there. There's another ant here. What are you doing? don't know if there's any way of knowing which ant that was. Can wood ants build bridges? No, they can't. It's just fire ants. I don't think we were going to let fire ant workers build bridges, but I can't remember. I only see 3 ants, so either it died unfortunately I didn't select it. I should have selected it so I knew which ant it was. Oh, I'll do all these in another time anyway. There's plenty more tests that need to be run on this. Most of the bugs I expect to be found when we do the fire ant beta. Anyway, that's enough for now. How much is the cost? No, I haven't got the tile here. I remember the fire ants were cheaper than the black. They're cheaper than black ants, I think, but not by much. Their damage is different to black ants as well, because they don't do physical damage, they do venom damage. Anyway, that's enough for now. Yeah, there's a couple of wood ants in amongst them, the wood ant workers. Anyway, I will be on again next week. Thanks very much for joining me. That was good fun doing the the bridge testing. We found a couple of things for Liam to work on. I'm still not sure what happened to that one ant. But we can run that test again at another point. I'm sure when we let you get your hands on the markers half, when you get the hands on the bridges, I'm sure you'll find many combinations. That break things, and we look forward to the feedback and fixing them all. But anyway, thanks very much for joining. I'm hoping to get a beta build out as soon as the menu's done. My guess is early next week, so with the new menu in it, and I'm expecting it to have bugs, so I'd appreciate the feedback in that respect. My plan is to build a new freeplay map as well, one that's set up for 2v2. So my plan is to build a 2v2 freeplay map, and maybe next week that's what we'll be working on. To go with the new freeplay update. So new freeplay menu, new freeplay map. I also want to return to Adventure, the extra level we were working on a while ago. Basically, me going down the road of building the freeplay AI came from me building AI in the adventure level and stopping and deciding that I'm better off just building a more generic AI that I can use in freeplay, and then I ended up making the freeplay AI. So that's where we left Adventure, ready for the AI to be put in. Now we've got an AI of sorts that we can just pick up and plonk in. I can get back to that level, and we can move on with it. Adventure was going to be a really complicated map that involved your colony leveling up. So your leafcutter colony, and it levels up and gets various buffs as it levels up. I've got some cool stuff planned for later on in the adventure level. But thanks very much for joining, and I will see you next week. Matt will soon make creatures. Yeah, okay, so on the creature front, Matt has been roped into working on stuff on the bridges and also the Epic Games Engine, Epic Store integration. So he was kind of pulled off his central task to work on those other ones. He will be getting back to his creature artwork very soon, and when he does, we should see quite rapid output from various creatures. Problem is, he keeps getting pulled off that task to work on other things. Like I've pulled him like today to work on the UI for the free play menu. Right then, thanks very much for joining, and I will see you later. Ta-ra.